and welcome to this Bouguereau Master Study video. I'm going to take you through the completion of the study in this 44-minute video. We're going to be talking about everything from paint on the palette to medium to canvas to technique to brushes to pretty much everything that I'm doing here. And we started out with a paint palette of titanium white by Lefranc, Naples yellow by HOC, cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre Rembrandt, vermilion from HOC, alizarin crimson, trans oxide brown, verte olive green Rembrandt, Viridian Vasari, cerulean blue raw umber made by Williamsburg, ivory black by Gamlin, and dioxazine purple by Gamlin. Now, all these aren't necessary, and I'm not necessarily using these all at one time, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what I've got on the canvas. And this is 11 by 14 canvas that I stretched on stretcher bars, and I believe I'm using the Art Fix Belgian linen canvas 84C, which is a real fine weave. And the brushes I'm using are rosemary, ivory long flat and filberts, and some pointed round 301 rosemary brushes. I started out just laying in with Gamsol medium, and later on when I come back on follow-up sessions, I use Galkid Gamsol mix 50-50 for oiling out. And if I'm using medium later on in the process, and if I need a little bit of oil, a little bit of something to give it more, a little bit, if it's a little bit too dry, I'll use a little linseed oil and Gamsol 50-50 mix. And that's what I got here. So I can tell you right now that I started out mostly using transparent oxide brown for the hair, which actually takes on that red look, and also in the for layout on the drawing, transparent oxide brown, just to get a real basic drawing. And that pink color on the canvas on the palette right there is a blush. I'm sorry, I don't think I mentioned that on my initial list. Yeah, you can easily get that with a little bit of that vermilion and a little white black vermilion, a little bit of yellow, and you can easily get that. But it's just out of convenience. Sometimes I'll put that on there. And if you have any questions about that paint, I can dig it up. I don't have it in front of me right now to give you the exact name of it. But I believe it's Winsor Newton Blush, something along those lines. But so got the basic drawing laid in, basic underpainting, darks and lights. I like to work around the painting all kind of at one time. I'm not big into doing one little piece section at a time. For me, I need to kind of work around. I will squint down and see something that looks a little off, or the main thing that looks off. That's kind of the way I go about it when I'm working. I'm squinting down, I'm looking at the reference, which I had on my computer monitor. I had a reference photo that I found online, So it's not super easy to work from. If I had the painting, boy, that would be a lot easier. But so I pretty much look at, squint down and see like what is the main thing that looks off, and I'll address that at the time, and then I'll squint down and say, okay, what's the next main thing that looks off? So I'm kind of moving around on the canvas in that regard. I usually keep 2 or 3 brushes working at any given time. Maybe one dark, one light, one medium, something along those lines, and just kind of try to clean them as I go to keep them clean, so they're not too muddied up. So you can see that we're working in the brown reds in the hair, and you can see the green in her forehead, and as it falls into shadow, you can see more green on their forehead, a little darker green, warm around the eyes. Added some transparent oxide brown, some alizarin crimson, mixed in with the green to get a warmer feel on the eyes. Eyelashes area, transparent oxide brown and some ivory black, and the eyebrows, more raw umber, and probably a little bit of black, and then coming around the eyebrows a little bit lighter greens there, and then around the cheeks, of course, some more of that vermilion mixed in with the green to capture a little of that the cheek look. Obviously, reds on her lips. They had some transparent oxide brown, some alizarin crimson, some vermilion, probably grayed down with a little black, maybe just to gray it down slightly. And you can see in the chin area right here, I actually had some dioxazine, little bit of violet. I went a little bit violet in the chin shadow area there. Now I'm lightening up the chin shadow area. Later I see that I had it too dark, so I'm now revising it and trying to lighten it up a little bit, putting a little bit of a green mix on top. And I just started the shoulder area with the black and white, just to kind of show where the dress starts there. Right now it looks way off because it's really super flat, but I just and inaccurate, but I just wanted to put kind of approximately where it is. And so got my cane hanging on the easel there to not my cane. I don't use a cane, but to steady my hand on occasion. The nose area, around her nostrils, transparent oxide brown, mostly in that area. The shadow side of the nose, I'm going some greens as the nose turns, and then as it goes deeper into the shadow, it's a transparent oxide brown. So I'm lightening up the shadow side of the face a little bit, trying to get it a little bit more gradual, a little bit more subtle shifts in between the values and the colors. Obviously, the around the corners of the mouth is more of a green shade. Chroma. A lot of blacks, like in the skin tone, light black in the skin tone right now below the neck and along the side of the neck, and even up in the forehead area up there. A fair amount grayed down with some ivory black in the mix. Trying to get some highlights in those lips that aren't too pronounced. Right now they're very pronounced. Definitely need to go back there and smooth that out. See if I can capture some of the shapes with transitions of value and chroma to get the forms to turn, not only with value but with chroma. Obviously, bringing that red of the cheek brings it forward, and then when the cheek turns, goes a little bit more green, and that helps the turn of the form, pushing it back. The red coming forward and the green pushing it back in the shadow a little bit. I noticed that it's a push and pull going on. It's never a straight line. I notice I'll make a change and I'll go back and change it again and play with, lighten it up. It'll be a little too light. I'll go back and darken a little bit. Then it might be a little too dark and I'll go back and lighten it a little bit. And so it's a push and pull. It's, for me, I don't do just one section and then it's done, and then I do the other eye and it's done, and do the nose and it's done. I'm constantly trying to compare every area of the painting and get all the values to work together. The most important part by far is the drawing in the values. If that isn't right, then you have no hope of getting a likeness. So you have to have the drawing right. The features have to be in the right place, and the values have to be right. And a lot of times, I'll squint down to see the values, and some it's so subtle. After a session, I'll take a photograph of the painting, and then I'll desaturate the photograph into black and white, and then take the resource and desaturate to black and white the resource, and then compare my desaturated image of my painting to the resource. And then I'll be able to see right away. And if something is off, if it's not close, if something is off, then that's the first thing I need to do is make that correction. And when I go back on the next session and get those values correct, get it close to the black and white image of the painting. And once I get that close, then I can really start focusing a little bit more on chroma, colors of form, turning the form with colors, having a little bit of fun with, depending on how painterly I want to go, depending on how much color I want to put in the image. And then start thinking about things like soft and hard edges and that kind of thing. But, working off of a photograph on my computer monitor that I got online of this Bouguereau face is, I realize the limitations of not being able to have the painting next to me. Now I'm going cool, a very cool kind of a green with some ivory black in there on this layer that I'm doing right now, especially around the eyes, and then a very kind of a grayed light, a very cool light. My computer screen shows this painting as a very cool light on her face, very grayed light, not much yellows, not much pinks, not much reds, boy, that is pretty there. Now I'm using a big brush to smooth out some of that those layers on the cheek. Now I'm just, I guess I did anyway. Now working on that eye a little bit, add some more light. Okay. And it's funny how the sometimes I feel like my eyes are play tricks on me. When I look at the resource image, sometimes I'll think it looks a little warmer. Sometimes I think it looks a little cooler, a little darker, a little lighter, and sometimes I wonder how to add and warming up these corner of the eye there and on the cheek, yeah. And so we're about 18 minutes in right now. This is quite a bit of the construction of this painting that's going to be in this video. You're really going to see a lot of details of how I painted this painting. Well, it looks like we're about halfway into it right now. For those of you who have stuck it out, and that's a real sharp edge on her nose right now. I'm fine-tuning the shadow part of her nose there. I think it was just a little bit wide. So now I'm trying to soften that sharp edge, add some more light onto the light side of her nose. Okay. I'm comparing my painting with the resource and squinting down and trying to see what I can do to get it closer to Bouguereau's work. And when I compare my painting so far with Bouguereau's, mine looks very rough, but it's the drawing's pretty accurate. So I know if I can get my values closer, I think it'll be a success. I don't see much color in Bouguereau's painting in this head study, in my resource. Very little color. So it's going to be more than anything a value study with a very slight bit of color in it. That's what to me, what I see, how it's going to end up. And I don't know how far I'm going to take this out. If I had his painting right next to me, I might spend quite a few more sessions on it, just really working on it to really study what Bouguereau, study the master. And but just having a resource photo, I don't think I'm going to be doing too much more, if anything more, after this video. So I don't think Bouguereau's underpainting, I don't think he had that red in the underpainting that you see behind mine. The more I look at it, it looked like he just went right over the white canvas with the grade greens and black and a little bit of yellow in places. But I had the red, underpainting, transparent oxide brown underpainting. So I don't really care. I don't really care trying to get the background just exactly like he's got. I'm really not interested in reproducing his background. Highly detailed, very, very close. I'm really just mainly, if I get the background close, if I get the face, then take a little bit off the edges. I don't need to bring it out all the way. Yeah, it's basically ivory black, white, and a little bit of just a little bit of yellow ochre, maybe some cad yellow light. All right, so I'm going back in on the eye a little bit and working on the transition area by the hair. A little bit of cool greens, blacks on the edge of the hairline, and reshaping the eyebrow, the transition coming out of the hair into the greens, kind of helping the form, the shadow around the eyebrow. The gaze of the eye. I was using ivory black on on the iris, and actually a slight bit of purple dioxazine in the white of the eyes. Yeah, I didn't really see a whole lot of yellow in the skin tones at all. I'm really seeing a lot of greens, whites, a little bit of yellow, and some violets down there in the chin area and around the eyes in places, and some vermilions, transparent oxide brown, but not much in the way of yellows. And boy, I'm really hitting hard the warm on that eye there. It's a alizarin crimson in the mix there. You can see that. I'm taking it back down. So right around that eye, you see a lot of warmth, a lot of reds, alizarin crimson and transparent oxide. I see a lot of greens, grade greens around the eyes. I do see some yellow around there. I see some ivory black and white right at the turn to where the eye, the cheekbone, right at the top of the cheekbone, and brown and more raw umber in the eyebrow hairs itself. So yeah, so on this palette, you can see that I don't have that Winsor Newton blush there paint. So I do say I have a little cadmium orange out there at this time. It doesn't really matter so much the colors. It doesn't really matter too much what colors I put out there. I just have to mix them to get what I'm trying to get, and pretty much any of the colors will work. I don't need that orange. I can do the yellow and vermilion and get that. But actually, I wonder if that might not even be orange. Looks like it might be yellow ochre, but it just kind of looks orange in this light. Okay, so we're wrapping up this session here in the next couple of minutes. And I got a feeling I'll probably do one more session after this. I'll probably take a photograph of it, desaturate it, pull it up next to the original, and see how close I am. I'll make a couple more decisions on some things that I want to change, and probably take one more pass at it before I let it go and am happy with it. So yeah, it's coming along, pushing and pulling, and so far I'm very happy with it, and it's kind of hard to get a good picture of it because it's kind of settling a little bit unevenly right now. I'll probably oil out with half Galkid and half Gamsol, and take a picture of it so you can see where it is, and you'll see a couple things improvements that I'm going to want to make on this. But I think this video is going to be about 32 minutes, another couple minutes, just kind of wrapping up, doing a couple things on the background. And I'm going to zoom out in a minute and let you see the chest area and where I just kind of retouched a little bit on her blouse around the shoulder area. Yeah, but Bouguereau is what an unbelievable painter he was. And it really makes me want to go see another one of his in person very soon. I think there may be one near where I live, somewhere downtown in the National Gallery. I have to look at my notes, see if there is one down there or not. But anyway, I appreciate you staying with me if you're still here. And I'm going to be signing off here in a second. And yeah, be sure and check back on the channel at a later time and see if I did another session on it to take it to the next level. This is what it's looking like on my easel now, and that's where I am right there. That's where it is right now. So, all right, well, thanks so much. Until next time, bye-bye.